Hey, I am Kathy Sanderson. I am an inner child healer and spiritual therapist. And today's the 23rd of December, and I just wanted to come on and talk to you, give you some words of wisdom that I've learned over the years, that Christmas isn't the be all and end all. It seems to be, doesn't it? It seems to be like you have to have it perfect. You have to have the perfect decorations. You have to send the Christmas cards that are perfect. And you know, you could even go as far as having to write perfectly the address on the envelopes and sticking your stamps perfectly straight. We put such huge pressure on ourselves to make everything perfect. Perfect Christmas tree, perfect decorated Christmas tree, perfectly decorated house, perfectly decorated outside of house, must take the children to see Santa, must have a Christmas afternoon tea, must do the Polar Express afternoon tea. All of those types of things we must do. We must have the biggest turkey. Well, we're vegan, so we don't. But you must have the turkey, the pigs in blankets, the roast potatoes, the veg, the cranberry sauce, the stuffing, the bread sauce, the gravy. We've got anything? And that's just the main course. You've got to have a starter. You may have to have a soup. You may have to have a beautifully decorated table with candles and your handmade Christmas crackers, because that's all the range now, isn't it? Then you have to have the perfect Christmas pudding, and you have to set it on fire. You have to make sure that there's a 5p or a shilling or what cents, 25 cents, quarter, if you're in America. You have to have that. You have to have the wine. It has to all be done perfectly. You're feeling stressed? I am. Christmas is a day, and it's supposed to be a day where you come together and you have fun. You spend time together as a family and you enjoy each other's company. And what's happened is it's got took over to be made perfect. And who can we blame? Most probably the shopping people, the media, the films who make it into this big thing that everyone thinks it has to be. And when you've experienced negative childhood experiences or trauma, then it's even a bigger pressure on you, because if you've got children, you don't want them to feel like you did at Christmas. You don't want them to experience what you did, whether it was that you didn't get gifts, whether it was that your parents just didn't care, whether that it was just a normal day and nothing happened, whether your parents were always fighting and all you remember is getting upset because they got so stressed on Christmas Day that it was just a fight. Do you remember that your mum would get so stressed about making the dinner that she would turn everyone's day into a nightmare because it wasn't perfect? Did you just want to escape, but you couldn't? Did your dad come home from the pub and just turn Christmas dinner into a drunken farce? Did he just fall asleep on the sofa? Did he moan about the food that your mum or anyone else, you perhaps, had prepared? Did then your mum get really upset and then Christmas was always sad for you? Was he horrible to you? Did he hurt you because he'd had a drink? Because you're supposed to have a drink, aren't you, at Christmas? There's so many ways that Christmas could have been horrible in so many ways, and you just don't want that to happen to your children. And you want them to just feel so happy at Christmas. And we get caught up in the whole idea that if we have the perfect dinner, the perfect housely decorated tree, so many presents under the tree, and make it into this amazing day, and we dress up as Santa and all of that stuff, we get so caught up in the trimmings of Christmas, get so caught up in what we need to be doing, when we forget about the true meaning of Christmas, which is together having fun. And that's all that kids remember. You know, if you haven't got much money, buy them a board game that you can all play together. And that's what they'll remember. They'll remember that mum and dad spent time with us, spent time with me, made me feel loved, made me feel special. I knew that I was important. These are the things that matter. The perfect tree, the perfect cards, the perfect presents, the perfect dinners, none of that matters. All that matters to children is that they spend time with you and they have fun. And if they're not spending time with you and having fun, then they care about the presents. But if they're spending time with you and having fun, and it's a Christmas, family Christmas, togetherness, not of competing and worrying who's going to get drunk and all of that type of stuff, and if it's just about you and your children, then that's what your children will remember. They'll remember the fun at Christmas. And if you don't have children and you're still getting frantic about Christmas, it's only one day. If it gets too much for you, just go and take some time for you. It doesn't need to be perfect. What can you do to make your life easier? We haven't sent cards this year for two reasons. I lost my brother in 2 months ago, so any money we'd spend on cards is going as a donation to the Marie Curie Centre, who looked after him in his final few days. But we're all about saving the environment. Yet at Christmas we overburden our postmen and we cover our houses in paper, which just gets thrown away in the next week. And to be honest, we don't do cards. Grinch, I don't know, but there's nicer ways to celebrate Christmas. Plus the fact we have technology now. We can send people texts, we can send them video messages. So don't worry about cards. Don't worry about presents. Seems to be a huge competition. Everyone you meet, you have to buy a present. We don't do that either. Our kids have got everything they want. So we don't need people to buy them presents. We've got everything we want. I'd rather spend time with someone than give them a present or them give me a present. We don't have to buy everybody we know a present. You don't have to be like my mum and have a spare present in case somebody comes round with a present for you, because that person's bought you a present. They're not expecting a present. But it gets turned into Christmas is presents. Buy, spend. And we get so obsessed with it. And, oh my God, what am I going to get so-and-so for Christmas? I don't know. I have to try and think about things. What do my children want for Christmas presents? What do I want? What does my husband want? Because we just get what we want because we live in this abundant lifestyle. That's another video. So do the things that make life easy. Send e-cards if you still want to send a card. Buy the ready prepared vegetables. It's okay for one day because all the kids want to do is play. Throw it all in the oven. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just have fun. Sit around the table and laugh and pull those crackers if you have them and tell them jokes and sit there with the funny hats and play with the little toys that come with it and make it a happy, joyful Christmas. Do not allow that pressure that people put on themselves to be that pressure that you're under, because it doesn't need to be. Christmas is about having fun and enjoying yourself. Do as little as possible on that day other than sitting and playing, letting your inner child out. Play with your children, play with your pets, sit and watch videos, for Christmas films. Have time for you. If it's just you, spend that time on doing things that you really want to do. If it's you and your partner, spend time on doing the fun things that you enjoy doing together. Go out for a walk. We always do every year. We go out for a walk after Christmas dinner, walk it all off. Really lucky where we live. We've got public footpath and we walk over to the fields, and if it snows, don't think it's going to snow this year. If it snows, we go sledging down the fields. It's just so much fun. But bring the fun. Always bring the fun. It's one day. And if it gets too much, go off and recharge your batteries, because It is only one day. I hope these have been helpful for you. If you have got stressed over this Christmas, and then take these words for next Christmas, that it is only just one day. Do the things only that make you happy. Don't bankrupt yourself on Christmas presents. Nobody needs them. Seriously, I mean, there are some children who do need presents, but the majority of us have got far too much. So do the things, go and do activities, do things that you're going to remember having fun for, because that's what Christmas is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a fun family time. Not for you to get so stressed out about making it perfect that it becomes something that's a headache and a nightmare. So if you found this helpful, hit subscribe, because I've got so many hints and tips and explanations of why you feel the way you do as an adult now from your childhood, and I hope that you'll find them really helpful. So if you haven't had Christmas yet, happy Christmas and enjoy your day.